See, in 20th century we have benefited from the developments in electronics, and but the photons travel much faster than electrons. So that's why the photonics is important for the 21st century. I call this 21st century is the century of the photon, when the 20th century was the photon century of the electron. So really the photonics allows us to be able to do many things. Fast communications, that means fast internet. And then also you're able to use photons for biomedical imaging applications, laser surgery, and so you really, if you think of anything, anything which we do in the daily life, we cannot live without photonics. Photonics is a phenomenal field, and really the future of the improved quality of living is based on photonics. So really the nanotechnology is seen as a technology of the future. And nanotechnology is expected to have an impact on many industry sectors, including communications and electronics and medical fields and defense and a range of environmental fields and a range of things, including agriculture. So at the nanoscale, the material properties change. The surface to volume ratio increases, and the classical physics fails and quantum physics comes into picture. We are exploiting that large surface to volume ratio because of the fact that the surface becomes more active, so that means you can make highly sensitive sensors and also enhance the light matter interaction quite significantly when you go to the nanoscale. So that's what we are trying to exploit, the quantum physics and then the large surface to area ratio, and also you start really creating new phases of material which is not normally possible in the bulk phase. And that's what we are exploiting to really make novel, innovative photonic devices like smallest lasers in the world, and also single photon emitters, single photon detectors, and terahertz detectors, and a range of things because of the fact that the nanoscale you can get a much higher resolution, and also they are more efficient and then much faster. Smaller the device, faster the speed at which you can switch switch them on and off, and also they consume less energy, and also that you can pack more devices in the same area. So that means you get a multifunctionality from these nanoscale materials and the devices based on these nanomaterials. The conference has been phenomenal, and then in fact I'm delighted to be here in Russia for the first time, and also I think I've chosen the best part of Russia, if I'm not wrong, in terms of really coming to St. Petersburg and Peterhof and experiencing the great culture, great Russian history, and great hospitality and wonderful talks and wonderful people. And my impressions have been extremely positive, and I'm thoroughly enjoying the wonderful hospitality of my Russian friends and also the excellent quality of science being presented at this wonderful conference. So really, if you talk about Russian scientists have done pioneering work in terms of photonics and optoelectronics for many years. And in fact, this year we are really celebrating 100th birth anniversary of Prokhorov. In fact, it's most interesting that Prokhorov, who won the Nobel Prize for the development of laser, or a maser or a laser, and of course it turns out that he also has a history of living in Australia. In his childhood, his family moved from Russia.
He was born in Australia.
Yeah, I think he was born in Australia and lived in the childhood, and then his family returned back to Russia. So from that point of view, I think Australia and of course Russia have got already a connection in the field of photonics through Professor Prokhorov, of course. And also many other scientists, and Basov and Popov and many scientists in the earlier generation. And in the recent generation, of course, Professor Alfarov has really developed these heterostructure lasers, and those who have made a huge impact in terms of the technology development. And whether you're talking about the DVD players or CD players, and then the laser printers, and many of the device lasers which we are using in the day-to-day life today are all made out of these heterostructures. And then of course origins start here in the Yaffe Institute in St. Petersburg. So the Russian scientists and St. Petersburg scientists have played an important role in the photonics and optoelectronics, and without their contribution, I don't think the field will be as wonderful as it is today.
Thank you very much, Professor Jagadish.
Thank you, Professor Dabrowski. Thank you for having me here, and I'm delighted to be here, and I want to thank you and your colleagues for your wonderful hospitality.
Thank you.
Thank you.